All right, Michael, let's get into it. The top 5 quarterbacks, according to you, your blue chip list here of quarterbacks, and they are as follows, and we will count them down from 5 to 1. Starting with number 5, this one might surprise some people, and it surprises me a little bit, Michael. We'll have this discussion. Patrick Mahomes at number 5 for the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Josh Allen at number 4, Justin Herbert, number 3, Tom Brady, the GOAT, at number 2, but we're talking about right now in 2022. And the number 1 is the 2-time reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. But I think a lot of folks, Michael, are going to have questions about Mahomes at number 5. Given his resume, how do you come to that conclusion?
I don't think he played well last year. I think he's capable of playing better. I think if you talk to Patrick Mahomes and if he's the true competitor, if he's the alpha male that he shows, I think he would tell you he's got to play better. I thought his accuracy last year, he gets criticized. He never gets criticized for accuracy, but his location of the football was not good. There were times he had guys that he missed. Look, go back to the last 3 throws. I don't know if he was concussed in that playoff game. I don't know. But against Cincinnati, that last 3 throws he made were the 3 worst throws I've ever seen him make. I think Patrick Mahomes at 26 years old is tremendous, right? I think he's Super Bowl winning. He's got a Hall of Fame career ahead of him. But just last year was not a typical Patrick Mahomes year. It just wasn't. I mean, you can't deny it. And if you just want to rubber stamp it and do no work at all and say Patrick Mahomes is great, let's just make sure he's great. So last year he had, other than his second year in the league, he had the lowest TD percentage in his career. I mean, 2018 he threw 50 touchdowns. He had an 8.6 touchdown percentage.
This is ridiculous.
He averaged 9.6 yards per. Last year he was the lowest in his career at 7.6. I mean, he got sacked 28 times, the most he's ever been sacked in his career, right? So like the year he threw the most interceptions he ever threw in his career, 13. So, to me, I think you just got to look at it. He was at yards per attempt was at 7.6 last year, Femi. 7.6. Now, let me read you what it was in prior years. 9.6 in 18. 8.9 in 19. 8.9 in 20. Last year, it's 7.6. Went down. Now, a lot of that is because of the way people played him. I get that.
Yep.
But his accuracy wasn't what it was, and he didn't make the throws. He threw the ball more last year than he ever threw it in his career. 436 times. 658 times. And he had the most completions he ever had at 436. But to me, his yards weren't relative to the amount of time that he was throwing it. So I think Patrick Mahomes is great. I expect him to bounce back. I expect him to really have a tremendous season. I think he's going to be great. But to say he played well last year is a falsehood. It's not. He played well for some people. He just didn't play well for Patrick Mahomes.
And I think that's where Mahomes is sort of a victim of his own success there because he has set such a high standard. Myself, I still think that he should be rated higher than Josh Allen and Justin Herbert because even though his play dipped a little bit, compared to his contemporaries, he's still a better player, in my opinion, than Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. And you look at the numbers, they're pretty similar to what Allen and Herbert had, and those were those guys' best seasons. This last year was Mahomes' worst season of the 4 seasons that he's been the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just don't know if just 1 year would be enough for me to drop Mahomes down below those 2 guys.
Well, I mean, look, you got to make a rating, right? You got to make a call. But based on last year, those 2 players were better than Mahomes. They were better. Now, they didn't get to the Super Bowl, and Mahomes won. Mahomes got to the conference championship game. Herbert doesn't even make the playoffs. That more on his coach than on him. But to me, last year, and we'll get to it. To me, Herbert was just incredible in terms of his ability to make throws down the field, to lead them back. And I think if they had a better defense, he would have been even better than he was last year. I mean, there's no denying it. He was, and the same thing with Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen did everything he could do, especially the second half of the season. They were the better play. If we were playing pickup and you took away and you just said to yourself, okay, nobody here knows anything about all these 5 guys. We're just going to watch what they did last year and you rank them. To me, I don't know how you rank Mahomes better than those other 2 guys based on last year. Now, if you want to do it as a career, that's different. I would agree with you. If you want to do it over the career, the tapestry of events, yeah, no doubt.
Well, Brady would be number 1 if we did it by career. That'd be.
I don't. Yeah, I mean Brady. Yeah, but my point is, I think you have to do it by year. Every year when you sit in a room and you write up a quarterback, you got to put a final grade on him. So if I'm writing up Patrick Mahomes and I'm going to make him on the board and I want to know who's a blue chip and a red chip, I'm going to still give him a blue chip grade, but I'm going to give him the lower blue chip grade than I would Herbert or
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen or any of those guys. I mean, I just did. To me, he didn't. I think it's one of the untold secrets. He didn't play good. Like, there's a lot of things about the season this year that is like Buffalo not playing against a great quarterback. Patrick Mahomes has to play better, right? Like, there's a lot of things that we don't discuss because it's not prevalent within the media, but they're there. Like, if you're in the league, you know that. Russell Wilson didn't play good last year. You would never know that by the fanfare he gets, but he didn't. Right?
Yeah, to his standard, he did not play well. Let's look at these top 5 quarterbacks. And I know wins are not everything, and it's a team sport, but the quarterback is the position that has the most influence on winning and losing. Mahomes was 50-13 in his career. Josh Allen, 39-21. Herbert is 15-17. Brady is 243-73. Rodgers, 139-66-1. One of those is not like the others. Justin Herbert at number 3. What is it when you watch his tape that has you so confident, despite the team success, to where you'd rank him as your number 3 quarterback?
Well, I think he's got everything you want. He's got toughness, can make the throw, he can move, can make loose plays. Look, it's not his fault his head coach is going for it on 4th down doing dumb things. I mean, he can't apologize for that. You know, it's not his fault his head coach can't play a lick of defense the whole season. You know, they can't stop the run. Like, it's not his fault. Like, the guy was through 38 touchdown passes. Can he protect the ball better? Sure. Through 15 interceptions, no doubt. You know, 2.2 interception percentage isn't exactly going to get it done for you. But, you know, he led 5 game-winning drives. Guy brought the team back 5 times. You know, in the 4th quarter 5 times. I mean, you know, I don't want to play him at the end of the game. I don't want to be sitting up in the press box saying, oh, shit, we just punted it back to Herbert. Oh, no. You know, here we go. Hold on to your ass. I don't even want to look. I mean, those are the games you don't even look. You just sit in your chair and you look down there and you just wait for the crowd to react. You know, like, oh, shit, I don't want to watch this. So I just think to me, and, you know, I thought they didn't do it good enough. Like, I think Mike Williams is the key to their offense. But I also think that they got to have a power back in there. They signed Sonny Michel. I think that'll help them a little bit. But I think he needs more help as a team player. But if you're going to build a quarterback, like, to me, there's a 30 for 30 out there. How do you take Tua over Herbert? Like, how do you do that? Like, watch the 2 players play. Watch the 2 players throw. It just shows you the power of branding. It shows you the power of the way you know, I mean, David Ogilvy. Do you know who David Ogilvy is?
No.
David Ogilvy was the king of advertisement. I mean, probably the father of advertising in the world, right? He's a British guy, wrote a lot of good books, but he would be so proud of Tua being picked over Herbert because it was all advertising. It was all advertisements. It was all, how do we brand this?
Yeah. I mean, in fairness to the whole collective that said Tua should go over Herbert, I don't think Mario Cristobal and that Oregon staff did Herbert any favors with what they were doing during his time there in Eugene. As good as Herbert is, that team underachieved based off of his talents there. Agreed,
counselor. I agree. But I object. I object because he went to the Senior Bowl. He went to the Senior Bowl, and he was so good in the Senior Bowl that basically we eliminated Mario Cristobal from the – basically we now know Mario Cristobal's a cheerleader. Now we know that, right? Put him over here. Give him pom-poms. Give him a horn. He's cheering. Let's have him over here because he ain't coaching offensive football. He ain't going anywhere near the NFL. Like, he's so far from the NFL, there's no chance. I got that. I'm complete. Like, I made that mistake. I was so down on Herbert that I finally had to have this intervention with myself saying, you know, I'm criticizing the Oregon offense, not Herbert. What are we doing rolling this guy out? What are we cutting the field in half for with this guy?
It made no sense.
It made no sense, but let's just put him over here. Give him a uniform, give him a pom-pom, give him the corn, you know, and he can go. Welcome to Miami. Only in America can somebody do that job where people don't know. Again, branding. David Ogilvy would be very proud of Mario Cristobal, too, making that contract. All advertisement. We should have a David Ogilvy award on this podcast.
Yes. I'm game for it. We add that to the awards section, which is coming back on Monday, by the way. The awards section after we get
we
all
gotta have an awards section. Yeah. We got to give the David Ogilvy for the biggest, you know, for the guy that you know, whenever you go to Hollywood, have you done the back lot at Universal yet, Femi?
No, I haven't done that one yet.
When you go to the back lot at Universal, they take you through all these homes, where Leave It to Beaver was filmed and all that crap. But when you open up the door, there's no house. It's just the front of the house, right?
Yeah.
That's the David Ogilvy Award. When you open up the door, there's nothing there. There's, the media thinks he's sensational. Oh, my God, he's great.
Yeah, it's the P.T. Barnum Award. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. It's the David Ogilvy Award from here on. Stephen Bond, that's award. We'll put that
David
one
Ogilvy,
in.
Yep, we'll have the production meeting here during the show. The David Ogilvy Award added for Monday, so look out for that after the full slate of games this weekend. The number 2 guy, Tom Brady. The number 1 guy is Aaron Rodgers. What was the differentiator for you, Michael, putting Aaron Rodgers there at that top spot?
I just think Aaron Rodgers carries the team. I think he carries the coach. He carries the team. He makes up for all the sins. Brady is, we're splitting hairs here, right? But Rodgers has to overcome so much. And now I know he had Devontae Adams last year, so that certainly helped. And Brady lost some of his players. But to me, Brady has a better defense last year, although I thought Green Bay's defense was better. But I thought he's got to carry it. I really do. And it's splitting hairs. You can go one way or the other. It doesn't matter. I think they're both tremendous. And I could make them 1A, 1A, 1A2, 1A1. It doesn't matter.
Tom Brady's resume and doing preparation for this podcast, it's just fun to see it just for a refresher standpoint because we know that he has such a great resume. But when you actually look at it on paper, it's incredible. He's thrown for 4,000 plus yards 13 times in his career, 3-time MVP, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, the all-time passing yards leader, touchdowns leader. The man is thrown for 84,520 passing yards. Just ridiculous. And I don't want you to give this away, Michael, because I know your book is coming out and you have the list of the players here. But, is he the best of all time? Regardless of position, is Tom Brady the best football player of all time?
Certainly you got to be in the conversation, and the longevity certainly brings him up there. That's the difference between players that have a Hall of Fame career and a Hall of Fame season, right? Brady's had a Hall of Fame career. Look,
he's
the guy
had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
700. He's maybe had 3, right? He got through it 719 times last year. 719 times he dropped back to throw the ball. 719 times he dropped back to throw the ball, and only 6 times did the other team catch the ball. 6. 12 times. 12 times. And that's high for Brady. And he still leads them on 5 game-winning drives. 3 fourth-quarter comebacks. Love him.
He's absolutely ridiculous there. Tom Brady, the GOAT, but for the blue chip, red chip list, he comes in at number 2 behind Aaron Rodgers, the 4-time MVP and the 2-time reigning MVP. All right, Michael, that's our blue chip, red chip series. It is concluded. And we're going to take one more final break here on the podcast. And just to recap the list there for the top 5 guys, you have Patrick Mahomes at 5, Josh Allen at 4, Justin Herbert at 3, Tom Brady 2, and Aaron Rodgers number 1 at the position. Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.